Hello tubers and groovers, and welcome to this week's edition of Take the Fear Out of the Gear with me, Jason Bangers.
And me, Mr. Chumley Warner.
What are we looking at today, Mr. Chumley?
It's the ASM Hydrasynth.
This is beautiful. Oh, I have watched the videos of these things and it's mind-blowing, but I haven't actually seen one of these, Si. I've seen the ones with keyboards, but this one's got pads.
Yeah, this is the desktop version, and you can actually, it comes with rackies. You can rack mount it if you want. If you want it in your rack,
Can I say just one thing?
Yeah.
It is sexy. Oh boy, is this thing kinky! But it's goosebump type, sexy, kinky, well made as hell, beautiful.
Yeah, it's all in a metal case, and it's OLED screens. You got all your pads. You know, it's the one really.
The screens are out of this world. I mean, this thing is well known for its aftertouch and its pre-touch and everything touch on this thing. And although it's on the keyboards and very famously so, it's also on the pads on this thing. I noticed.
Yeah, so if we press a pad, you can hear it, and if I press it hard, you can hear it open up.
See, you're not just getting a louder sound; you're getting a different sound, aren't you?
And I think when with it's called the Polytouch or Polyphonic Aftertouch, and you can assign different things. So you can open up the filter, or you can assign all different things to whatever sound you. Yeah,
so
yeah.
And it's polyphonic.
And the only keyboard, well, it all started with the Yamaha CS80. That was from years ago. We know how expensive they are. That was the only keyboard with Polyphonic Aftertouch, and there's very few keyboards where you can actually get that now.
It's awesome.
So this is a bit of a revelation. ASM have really thought about, how do we do it? How do we make it amazing?
ASM have raised the game in synthesizers. If you've not heard of them before, just type in Hydrasynth Deluxe ASM and have a look at the keyboard, the full scale of this thing, and look at Dr. Mix. He's probably, in my opinion, he's the one who does it the best, because he really shows you how much it means to him to get that touch.
It almost brought him to tears, didn't it?
It almost bring him
very
to tears.
Emotional, yeah.
Very emotional. He really, really was. And it sounds exceptional. So I think, without further ado, one thing we should say is it's time for...
It's that time. Chumley Stats.
It's that time again, Mr. Chumley Warner.
Right, so I suppose we should say, when do you reckon this came out? Obviously,
it's got to be brand new, isn't it?
It's pretty new, so...
Oh, okay, we're in 2023 now, so I'm going to say 2021.
2020. So yeah,
not bad.
Spot on.
Not
and
bad.
we should say there's 4 different versions.
Mm-hmm.
This is the desktop one, and then you've got the bigger one with the keyboard, which was the original Hydrasynth that came out in 2020. Then you've got the new one, which is the Deluxe, which is it's actually got 2 of the sound engines in.
It's like two of these, isn't it?
2 Hydrasynths, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you've also got, it's called the Hydrasynth Explorer, which is like a smaller one, although it's got mini keys, it's got the Polyphonic Aftertouch, but it is a little bit cut down. It's got the same sound engine in, but you've lost a few of the screens and a few of the knobs. But if you're just looking for the sounds, that's quite a cheap one to go for.
And I'll just mention quickly, that's the Blade Runner patch as we were playing there, okay? Just in case you were... You might recognise that from the Blade Runner films, because that's where these sounds are from that music, as it were.
Exactly. It's amazing. It's the best.
Gotten exactly brilliant.
It's the best new synth I've heard in a long time.
Yeah, man.
And it's just something different. It's not like Roland and that. They just seem to be
It's just totally different.
Plodding along the same path with not a lot of excitement, but this is exciting. This is completely different.
This is like a pig running out the gates at Aintree. This is totally different.
Yeah, it's
And
amazing.
I don't mean a pig in a bad way, i.e. it's a pig. No, it's so different to everything else.
So we ought to I'll give you a couple of stats here. So it's got 3 oscillators. It's got 219 different waveforms. It's got these things called mutators, which you can sculpt the sound, so it can give you FM synthesis. You can stack different waves together. Oh, there's tons of stuff. You've got a noise generator, ring modulator. You've got 2 filters. You've got 5 LFOs. 5?
Christ.
You've got 5 envelopes.
Wow.
You got this. You can see on the front here. You got this modulation matrix here, and you can route everything into everything else. You got an arpeggiator. You got on the top there. You got your CV gate inputs and outputs. It's MIDI. It's USB. As we said earlier, you got the OLED screens here,
Which are amazing. Even at this angle where we're sitting with all the lights on, it's crystal clear.
and a lot of these knobs. Some of these are called macros. And you can turn these, and you can program to do more than one function at a time. So if you want to open up a filter, say, and do something else, you got that.
Player friendly, straight out of the box.
You got 5 banks of 128 patches.
Grief.
You got loads. Obviously, you probably heard on the Blade Runner patch. You got the effects, you got the delays, reverbs, and I reckon you could make any sound you want with it.
You got drive morph on there as well. Drive and then morph, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose if we
I think you should hit shift first, I'm not sure, but
yeah, well that as you just added a bit of drive on there,
Yeah.
so it's like having and
Yeah.
you got your you gotta go. Yeah, you got laser resonance on the filters and everything.
and as you can see on the C100 there, you got a waveform, beautiful, and there it goes. As soon as the waveform finishes, it goes back to the title of the thing, so you don't lose where you're at. Right, them stats, boy, keep them coming.
Well, it's not too much more to say. Obviously, you've got all your rotary encoders here, so you can see with the lights there where you are, and it's on your screens here. If there's more than one screen, this will light up. There's not on this one, but you can go down. It's amazing. There's all your arpeggiator settings. There's all your CVs in and out. On the back, obviously, you've got your headphones, your normal outs, your MIDI, your USB. It's all in a metal case, and it's amazing.
Built like a Sherman tank.
It is. It's very well built, and the sounds are just amazing.
Negative. I'm going to bring a negative in. So I won't like me for saying this because it's his, but this all touch sensitive on the pads. But if you want to MIDI it and put a keyboard on, you don't get the velocity sensitivity, obviously, because it's built into the machine. So if you do want that on full playable scale, you need to buy one with keys on it. Yeah, sure, you can play these pads, but it's not quite the same as a keyboard, is it? They're well laid out, and you can change them to be whatever key you need them to be. Is that correct?
And you can even, there's options on here where you can say you want this like a guitar fretboard.
Yeah.
So if you're a guitarist, because if you've got a MIDI keyboard, you can play it via MIDI, but you won't get the Polyphonic Aftertouch unless you've got a polyphonic keyboard.
No.
But me not being I'm not a keyboard player, and this came up cheap. We'll talk about prices. So
for me, that would be the key thing. Excuse the pun.
Yeah,
that would be the key thing for me, because
you might want to go for the Explorer or the one with the keyboard.
I would have to, because like Dr. Mix, he felt it. He was at one with the thing.
Yeah, so we'll talk about price really.
Yeah. Can I have a guess?
Which one do you want to get? Should we say the original Hydrasynth for the keyboard? That came out in 2020. What do you reckon that was when it came out?
I was going to guess on this, but the one with the keyboard, 1,300 quid.
They're about around 1,000-ish.
Get out and buy them now, because they're going to shoot up. These are new. They're going to be more second hand than they are new. So this ASM company are outstanding.
So yeah, do you want to guess on this? So this is called the desktop.
It's got to be 500 quid. least.
At the moment, they're about 660.
Well, we're far out then. 160 quid out.
And then you've got it's called the Explorer, so it's got like the mini keys. Same sound engine in. What do you reckon about that one?
With the keys, okay then, well, if I was talking about 800.
No, with the Explorer's about 500-ish if you can get a deal. Yeah.
Okay, that's the one with mini keys on it.
That's the one with the mini key. So same sound engine. You haven't got so many screens. There's a few less knobs, but if you just want the sounds,
Well, there you go, Tube.
so and the deals do vary so much, so it's worth keeping an eye on different shops.
That could be the one. And I don't think there's a sound on this thing that you couldn't get if you was after it. If you want, I'm sure if you wanted to get a Mellotron sound on here, I bet you could.
Well, then we got one. The only last thing to say, talking about buying stuff, I do like the deluxe version.
Yeah, which I mentioned earlier. Yes,
we didn't say the price on it.
Well, okay, now you said the other one was about 1,000.
Just for the standard, yeah.
So then I'm going to say the Deluxe, which is twice the machine,
yeah,
it's got to be 2,000. It's got to be,
it's
surely, because there's two of them.
Yeah, it's got two sound engines in.
So £2,000.
No, it's around 1,500, 1,550.
Holy crap! For an extra 500 quid,
you've got two of them.
So there you go, Tubes. We hope you've enjoyed as I said, the Hydrasynth desktop. We've enjoyed it, and we ain't even played with it yet. This is the first time we've seen it, first time we've plugged it in, and the first time we've heard it. So on that note, I think it's time we bid thee farewell. So from me, Jason Bangers, it's goodbye.
And from me, Mr. Chumley Warner, it's goodbye.
Please subscribe.
Like and tell your friends.
And hit that bell and get notifications, and we'll see you next week. Now take care, y'all.